Hi, my name is Ryan Kimbao, and I'm going to be doing a cold reading for A Breakfast at Tiffany's, reading for the part of Paul Barjack. Holly, I love you. Where are you going? What's the matter with you?
What was the moment when you decided that you wanted to be an entertainer?
Well, when I was a young child, I was always singing, dancing, and acting, and only this was because I was observing it from watching television. And even when I was watching cartoons, there was this one show, it was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and when I had saw that show, I had this notion that, I wanted to do what they did on the show as far as the action and everything that went along with them playing these characters. And I thought, maybe I should think about maybe becoming an actor.
Hi, I want to talk to you. What are you doing? South America, the land of wealth and promise? Let's get out of here. I said, let's get out of here. I want to talk to you. What's the matter with you anyway? What happened? Holly, I love you. Where are you going? What's the matter with you?
I found out that a family relative of mine was going to a modeling acting school called John Casablancas. Once there, then I got further training by staying for 4 months. I finished the classes, but I never actually graduated from their program. So I decided the following year after I had graduated from high school that I would go to Southwestern, which I wasn't planning to go. I took my first theater class with Professor Mark Penelescu. I learned in the elementary acting aspect of it, there is a method called the Stanislavski method. This is the method where you use a lot of psychological experiences in your life to pretty much delve into a character that you're portraying and put a lot of that into making an effective dramatic scene look real to the audience. So basing my acting off of that method really helps me to add a lot of depth to who I am as an actor, and it helps me to interact with the audience as they're watching me on stage or if I'm on camera. To coincide with the fact that I was taking an acting for theater class, I also took an acting for television and film class, which was a class that was run by Professor Johnny Warner. I think he was more of an influence because he was teaching how to pretty much prepare early on and give yourself a bit of an exercise warm-up to pretty much prepare for the role that you're going to take. And know that you know what you're doing on camera and you know how to express yourself, and there's everything that goes into what you say, and that you let the nervousness pretty much just wane away and just feel relaxed in being in front of the camera.
What's all this jazz about South America? Mary? What's South American? Who the hell's Jose? Who the hell is Jose da Silva Pereira? You're crazy. That's exactly what I think.
My favorite actor, as far as film actors go, would be Johnny Depp, because he's very versatile and he can play a multitude of characters. And the thing I like about him is that he always has this signature trademark in a lot of his films that usually identifies with who he is as an actor, because it shows that as an actor he's also playing himself, and you see a lot of Johnny in a lot of the characters that he's played.
Halle Berry is an actress that I truly respect and admire, and I really appreciate the amount of effort she goes into playing such dramatic roles. What she does by going above and beyond what other actresses would consider just practical, she actually does research, and she's able to give a gripping and powerful and emotionally riveting performance.
For an audition, if it's a general audition, I pretty much just use a lot of scenes that I have watched and grown in fascination of since I collect movies. But if it's for a role that's specific, I pretty much have to research the role and see what the underlying characteristics of that role is and what the given circumstances call for to be able to play a character like that. Then I pretty much do research on the director, get a history on the film that's being produced, and pretty much get to know the actors that are also a part of it. So a lot goes into an audition, and I also have to prepare and do a lot of warm-up exercises before I get into the room, because sometimes I get nervous. It's a lot to go through in an audition because you're in line with a lot of these other people that are there, and you have to really be prepared in order to impress the people that you're auditioning for and really get a role. The best audition that I have so far was the one in American Idol. Well, for me, singing wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was just something that I wanted to see how far I could get with it, and I just tried it anyway. I was surprised too because I actually made it through the Qualcomm Stadium audition, and the next 3 auditions were held at Rancho Bernardo in a hotel over there. I think the first 2 were my best because I had to go through a series of auditions in order for me to audition for Randy, Paula, and Simon. That was from my own song that I had selected. The second one had to sing a song by Gwen Stefani, which was selected by the American Idol producers for me to sing. And I think from doing that, it was pretty much the best audition that I had so far because I thought I was actually going to get somewhere with that.
What was your worst experience?
To connect with the last experience that I got with American Idol, I think toward the end when they had the last audition in order for me to get into Randy, Paul, and Simon, that had to have been the worst one because this time I had to audition in front of the producer, Nigel Lithgow, of the show. He was pretty much standing there with the board, the executives from Fox Entertainment, and they were pretty much looking at me up and down and everything. And I didn't know what to expect. I thought I had it in the bag, like going into the audition. But I guess when you're overconfident, it sort of clouds your judgment. And it had to have been the worst toward the end because he had made a comment that after I had sung really well, he said that he didn't approve of the movements that I was doing because early on, prior to the audition, they had stated you were not allowed to move your hands or make any gestures during it. You were supposed to stand still. I was actually the first one out of the whole audition that actually gotten cut. So it was sort of like a wake-up call for me that it's better to just be in your moment where you have to be focused on the audition rather than thinking too far ahead and being overconfident, and just pretty much just work with the process and don't try to overdo something. An experience that I get from just being on stage is the fact that I have an audience watching me, and they determine whether a performance that I do is good or bad, because I don't know, like even from rehearsal, if the performance that I do is going to be good or not.
I mean, I've tried everything.
You have a lot to prove when you're on stage than when you're on camera. On stage, you have to do a lot of action, and it's a lot of physical movement, and I feel with stage a lot goes into pretty much preparing, and for me it's a lot of hard
I'm
work.
not talking about you, your mama, or your daddy, or your self-respecting rotten god commies and everything. I mean, what does it take? You know what? I can't trust you anymore. I feel vulnerable. This is too much for me. I can't do this. I'm out of here.
I think the best way that pretty much shows who I am as a actor is pretty much on camera, because camera, they're more intimate with who you are, and I feel that's how I like to see myself portrayed, is when I'm on camera. I'm pretty much comfortable now with getting in front of the camera, whereas before I used to be really nervous and I didn't really know what to say as when the camera would already strike. I would always feel like a deer in the headlights because I didn't know what it was I was doing out there. But now that I have experience getting in front of the camera, it's all a matter of just relaxing and being myself.
Look, I'm not everybody. Or am I? Is that what you really think? That I'm no different from all your other rats and super rats? Wait a minute. If that's it, if that's what you really think, then there's something I want to give you. $50 for the powder room.
overall, my parents are pretty much supportive of the fact that I'm pursuing my acting career, just so long as I focus also on getting my education as well. If I were to become an actor, probably here on out, years later, they would continue to support me nonetheless. Financially, it would be to my better benefit that I would have to get the financial support I would need on my own. So as far as my parents helping me, they would do as much as they can to try to help. But other than that, everything else is just up to me. So as long as I have my parents' support, that's all I need. And I think that'll help better me in my pursuit of becoming an actor. I would consider myself pursuing this for quite a long time because it's something that when I was a young kid I always dreamed of doing. So to do that, I would continuously have to go on auditions and pretty much try to network and meet people along the way so I could try to find an in to getting into the show business. But if somewhere down the line something comes at me that I don't expect, and when fate happens to come my way and I do become an actor, then I would see myself doing this for a long time to come.